Welcome back to another episode of Draw My History. This episode, the Catholic Reformation.
In the 1540s, the Catholic Church made some developments in two interrelated movements, one of which was focused on internal reform, while the other was a counter-revolution meant to oppose Protestant beliefs. Pope Paul III made the papal court the center of the reform movement. The leaders within the church, including the Pope, cardinals, and bishops, were focused on being models of piety instead of being primarily focused on power. Pope Paul III supported improving education for the clergy and maintaining a stricter control over clerical life. In 1542, Pope Paul III established the Supreme Sacred Congregation of the Roman and Universal Inquisition, also known as the Holy Office. It was a committee of 6 cardinals with authority over all Catholics, with the intentions of effectively destroying heresy.
In 1545, Pope Paul III called a general council that met in Trent to reform the Catholic Church and secure reconciliation with the Protestants. Both Lutherans and Calvinists were invited, but their viewpoints on including the scriptures made reconciliation impossible. Charles V's goal from this council was to avoid alienating the Lutheran nobility and the empire, while France's goal was to keep the Catholics and Lutherans divided to keep Germany decentralized and weak. Despite all of this, the decrees of the Council of Trent laid a solid basis for the spiritual renewal of the Catholic Church. It also gave equal validity to the scriptures and to tradition. It reaffirmed the 7 sacraments, and it tackled disciplinary matters, requiring bishops to reside in their own districts, suppressing pluralism, which is the practice of holding more than one office at a time. And they also forbade the sale of indulgences. The council also required that each district establish a seminary for education and training for the clergy. For the first time, great emphasis was placed on preaching and education.
Religious orders, among other things, provided education for the clergy and the people. In Spain, for example, the Carmelite nun Teresa of Avila traveled around the country reforming her Carmelite order to be more strict and rigorous. Some officials criticized her as disobedient, as women were not supposed to teach. New religious orders focused on education, like the Ursuline Order of Nuns, which focused on women's education. In 1535, Angela Merici founded this in Italy and established the first women's religious order, focusing on teaching young girls. The goal was to re-Christianize society by training future wives and mothers.
Saint Ignatius of Loyola was originally a soldier in the Spanish army. However, he left the military when he began reading and studying books about Christianity and the saints after being severely injured in battle. He would then continue his spiritual development and create a famous program to help strengthen spiritual discipline called Spiritual Exercises. A few years later, Ignatius was granted papal approval to create the New Society of Jesus in 1540. The members were called Jesuits. One of their main goals was to spread Christianity and education throughout Europe and throughout the world, including places such as Japan, India, and North America.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Draw My History.
Thanks
for watching!
And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe.